All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of Achieve 10X TV. This is Jimmy Yin. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, and nutritionist, and we are doing something different and special during these difficult times. We're going around interviewing local people who are helping our local community. And today I'm super excited to have Scott Finkelstein from Action Coach. He'll be the first coach that I've interviewed. So basically, ask your questions, stay tuned. This is going to be a very interesting topic. So Scott, why don't you introduce yourself?
Awesome. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk to the community as well. As you mentioned, I'm with Action Coach. We're the #1 global program for business and leadership coaching. Been around for over 30 years. We're in over 84 countries. I myself, after a 30-year corporate career of typically being the senior VP of sales and running organizations of all sizes, having created over $6 billion in revenue for those companies, decided this is the second career in my life and want to get out there and be part of a community where I get to help others and just help small business, which I've always worked with small businesses, and support their growth because they don't get enough of it and they're the ones who need it and they're the backbone of our community. So I want to be there to help them.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So why don't you came from the corporate world, so why become a coach? I mean, what got you to transition to being a coach?
Sure. I've had great coaches and mentors throughout my whole life, really been blessed that way. Even to today, I have 2 coaches I actually pay to help guide me. And so it was the natural transition for me to, at some point, as I've always said, I showed my kids who are adults now how to, raise a family, pay for college, and have a couple Disney vacations. And now I want to kind of show them how to help support your community and truly do things that are beyond just our family, but to give back.
Yeah, I definitely believe in coaches. I have multiple coaches even right now. And so I've even when I started my business, I've always not in the early on, I didn't understand the importance of a coach, but probably after the second, third year, definitely understood you need a coach for everything. As people say, like Michael Jordan, the best player of all time, he had a coach.
Yes.
He had many coaches. One of his, very famous coaches, Tim Grover, Tim Glover. I forgot Tim's one of his fitness coach.
Yeah.
And yeah, his fitness coach trained Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and so it was vitally important. But yeah, I understand the importance of a coach. So let's you're with Action Coach. So let's talk about what separates Action Coach from another coaching company.
Great question. I think there's 2 components, and the first one starts with mindset. And we all have all this, I like to say, head trash. Yeah, that's why my hair's gone away. But that just from our past, our experiences, whether they've been good or bad, and sometimes our good experiences can hold them back just as much as our bad. So we really focus on the mindset first, so we can then bring clarity into your self vision, which leads into your organizational vision. The second part is systems and process. I vetted a lot of coaching programs out there. Having built my successful career always about systems and process, Action Coach really dives into that. And Brad Sugar's our founder who started us over 30 years ago. That was the other part of Action Coach, not just the mindset, but now how do we put systems and process in place to truly structure a business that, 1, has sustained predictable growth, and 2, works without you, right? And I know you and I've sat down before as a business owner. You work so many hours, and to some level, the head trash that's what a business owner does. So we really want to show business owners that's not how it has to be. You can actually make more money than you've ever wanted to and have a business that works without you. Again, mindset and then the systems and process to make it happen.
Yeah, that's definitely 2 things I definitely work on. So, during COVID, this is the hot topic now. COVID has affected our lives, everybody's lives, and especially small businesses. And I would say micro businesses, because small businesses, some are, it's classified as like 100 million as a small business.
Sure.
So I would say micro businesses, some like the mom and pops, like myself, I'm a micro business. So what are some things that you've been doing to help micro businesses during these difficult times?
Absolutely. Offering my services for free, especially in the beginning, we always offer a complimentary coaching session or strategy session to help. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's really micro businesses,
Yeah.
that are that under 20 million, and a lot of them are mom and pops, as you said. So a lot of free sessions. We put on a lot of workshops. I've partnered with the different chambers to do workshops along with other organizations, small business organizations here, to just put out as much content and guidance as possible. Because, listen, why do I have a business coach? Because it's hard to go it on our own.
Yes.
And as much as I can coach your business, I still need someone, as I like to say, pull my head out of my own butt to coach my own business, because you're too emotionally attached to it, right? You're too close to it. And that's, I think, one of the benefits of a coach. Someone who can be on the outside, unbiased, who still cares just like you do about your business, but can tell you when, hey, we need to look at this. Maybe this isn't the way it should be, or have you thought about this? And also sometimes just give you the confidence you need. And as I like to say, as my coach does to me, sometimes a kick in the butt too.
Yeah. So what are some of the, with the clients that you have, or the people that you've helped currently, what are some of the hurdles that you're seeing that these micro business owners are going through?
Sure. I mean, there are some businesses that were absolutely shut down. I know, doctors' offices, you just couldn't have patients in there. So, and then some of the restaurants I've talked to were shut down, and they didn't necessarily know how to work just online and do orders. So for them, it's talking to them about how do we save cash, minimize expenses as much as possible, take advantage of SBA loans as those were coming out, so that we can survive, because eventually, as we know now, the doors of the economy are opening back up. So for them, it was that. How do we survive and understand we can get through this to open back up and be able to go grab market share that you probably didn't even have before? You talk a lot about 10X in the times we've talked, and you mentioned, there's market share to get. For the businesses now, some of my clients, I have an HVAC client, a CPA as a client. It's about, there's opportunity now. Let's not hide. So we had to pull them out of the shell. One, just because they got scared just like everyone did. The other thing is, is it okay if I try to grow my business when others are suffering? Absolutely. And get them over that mindset of thinking maybe I'm a bad person. No. You read the book, Tillman Fertitta, who owns the Houston Rockets, his book, Shut Up and Listen, he put out last year. He built his empire in the 80s when all the restaurants and the hospitality industry were going under, because he goes, I'm going to go grab market share for pennies on the dollar. And so it's letting people know, hey, you're part of this community. You're going to be there hiring people when others aren't, and that's going to help get us through this.
That's a great point. It's, I think not everybody sees that is you have to, if you get bigger, you can actually provide more for the community because you can offer more jobs.
Exactly.
And as this time, how many layoffs, how many unemployment claims, it's just the stats are just horrendous. This has never happened in U.S. history.
No.
So, there's a lot of people that are not going to have jobs. And if you can figure out, like you're saying, figure out how to grow your business and provide more jobs. You don't have to wait for, the government to provide jobs to trickle down. You, as in your own community, can do that for your community. So that's a great point. So what are some things, like you talk a lot about mindset. So what are their mindset hurdles that do you think that you've talked to people, business owners, that they're really struggling with? One of them you already said, is the fear of should I be growing while other people are suffering? Are there any other mindset, hurdles that you've encountered?
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of them, but some of the big ones are just getting over their fear. The fear of the unknown. And I like to say fear stands for false expectations appearing real.
Yeah.
And especially, listen, when this hit and, started coming through in January and February, we didn't know anything. We didn't have numbers. We didn't have statistics. we didn't know, and unfortunately, people were dying. That scares everyone.
Yeah.
So it's just getting over the fear that you're going to be okay, that there's a way to continue to survive and thrive. That was the biggest one. And all of us have our different fears. So in times of crisis, they come out. So it's really the coaching sessions where to sit down and just understand what they're afraid of, get them to say it out loud. And then we can either help them, as I say, sometimes you just got to breathe, right? Other times it's showing them, connecting the dots to why that is a false expectation.
Yeah. So, what you mentioned earlier that, it's that you're recommending these business owners, stack their cash, reserve their cash, reduce expense. Why is that? Why are you telling people that strategy?
So for businesses like a restaurant, as I mentioned, where it's, hey, let's stack some cash now while we can, or cut our expenses. Unfortunately, one of the things I love most about Austin is our amazing restaurants.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a high percentage that won't be here,
Yeah.
but everyone's still eventually going to want to go out, and everyone does overall have money to spend. So stacking that cash allows you to open up with growth in mind, with that energy to go be the restaurant that is still there in your community. So that's one example. The other is for businesses that are still growing. Can you minimize some of your expenses so when other businesses are available? My HVAC client, he's a residential HVAC. He grows through acquisition, buying up clients by buying up the mom, and he's a mom and pop himself, but he's a smart business guy. Yeah. And we look all the time, where's there opportunity to buy customers, especially, we're getting into the summertime.
Yeah.
So those are two examples of where having that cash can benefit you.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Because we see, Warren Buffett, one of the best, greatest investors of all time, he is stacking cash. He's getting rid of, stocks and stacking cash.
Yeah.
And people are wondering why, because the stock market actually is still going up.
Yeah.
But he's selling. He's selling, and he's holding on to his money.
Yeah, because there's going to be opportunity to buy. Not to get too much into the investment side, back in I forget when it was in this century when the banks went under, Lehman went under, et cetera. He was part of the group that bailed out Goldman Sachs and the likes of them, and he made a lot of money off of it.
Yeah,
because he was able to get investments penny on the dollars that significantly multiplied.
Yeah. So the second thing that you talked about was systems and processes. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the systems and processes that you recommend business owners, implement right now?
It's in everything you do. I mean, it really is. We could talk for 8 hours on that. It's a full workshop. What's your systems and process just when someone calls you? You get an email, any prospect reaches out interested in your services. And beyond that is, what are your scripts? How does everyone get the same information? You're delivering the same value, and they know you. The most, and I always use example, the most famous script in the world. Do you want fries with that? And people don't realize there's a system when you walk into McDonald's or the drive-thru, right? Yeah. Best system in the world. By them asking fries, do you want fries with that? They're doing two things. That is, one, a very high profit margin item, but in general, they're increasing your purchase price by 40% when you think about it. And they're increasing their profit margin even more because it doesn't cost a lot to buy potatoes. So what's the system to get every team member to ask the right questions? And what we all want to, we like going to places where we know, why do people go to Neiman Marcus and spend a fortune? Yeah. Because when they walk in, it's the same experience, and that's a system and process.
Yeah. That's very true. It's like one of the, like if we're talking about hotels, the Four Seasons. The Four Seasons is known for their, 5-star service, and they'll make it right. And then also there's another company called, I was listening to a audiobook, and they mentioned Zappos. Zappos built their company based off of, the customer service, as they want their whole mission is to allow, help their customers be happy when they have a transaction with them. even
Yep.
if it's not buying shoes, from
Mhm.
Zappos.
Absolutely.
So so a couple of things that you've mentioned. One is that small business owners, micro business owners, the first thing is we need to focus on overcoming our fear.
Mhm.
And second thing is, expand to help your local community, because if you expand, you can help more. And that leads me to, the overcoming the fear, because right now there's so much uncertainty. So how, it's easier said than done to overcome your fear, but how can you overcome your fear if the economy is still uncertain, even though everything's still going up, but it's still uncertain? So how do you overcome your fear when it's still going to be uncertain? Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Great question. It starts with one word, planning. So even on uncertainty, you still have to run your business. You and I are both business owners,
Yeah.
right? There's things we're doing every day to take care of the clients we already have, and have a plan of how to help them and how to help maintain our business.
Yeah.
I know, having talked to you in the past, you're out there marketing, you're doing, coming up with new ideas, and planning how to execute them. And then it's the personal plan too. What is your daily ritual to put you in a mindset of positivity? One of my favorite books is The Miracle Morning. And I'm up at 5:30 every morning, and I've got my rituals that even if I wake up or I struggle going to sleep and there's some fear or anxiety about things, those rituals get me into a mindset of positivity so I can then go execute, because I know I have a plan in my business. There's always uncertainty. Even back in December prior to all this, when the work economy was rocking and rolling,
Yeah.
we still don't know a lot of things. But hey, we know how to run a successful business. So let's do the steps that take that, and always, try to think one step ahead. That's what the successful businesses owners do. They think one step ahead and are ready to pivot when they have to.
Yeah. So that's a great point, especially the rituals. What are some morning rituals? Because you read in articles, all the successful people, they
Mhm.
have morning rituals. So can you give examples of what are some rituals? What are some success or yeah, I would say successful morning rituals?
It's different for everyone. For me, it's, almost every Monday through Friday, it's a 90-minute ritual. And again, it comes from that book, The Miracle Morning, because I struggled with that a year ago, trying to wake up early and go through that. And this book really put it. So for me, and there's a lot of books. So
Yeah.
whoever, you got to find, but I start in silence. Literally get out of bed. You don't hit the snooze. You get up, you brush your teeth, you go grab your caffeine, whatever that may be. And I sit on my couch downstairs. I'm comfortable in my living room in silence for about a good 5 minutes. And I literally set a timer. And then after that, it's my affirmation statements, which I change all the time based on where I'm trying to get to and what maybe I'm still struggling with in my own head trash. And then from there, it's visualization. Again, I'm in my setting there. I've got my music. I do about 15 minutes where I close my eyes and visualize. Sometimes, depending where you're at, maybe it's just about the day and the meetings ahead. I try to have long-term visualization mixed in with that. Then it's an exercise routine after that. It's not my big routine where I go to the gym and go for a run in the evening, but just to get the blood flowing. And then it's I'm reading. I make sure I read. I love Audible, but I want to make sure I read a book actually every day. And then from there, it's they call it scribing and journaling, which is my biggest struggle, because I sometimes sit there and go, I'm supposed to be journaling right now. I'm not sure, but then all of a sudden something comes out. So that's mine. It's a 90-minute ritual. Some days I cut it down to just a quick 10 minutes, depending on what's going on, but the majority is that. But bottom line is, you've got to find the ritual for you. It's just at Action Coach, we believe in this. The first 59 minutes of the day will set your tone for the rest of the day. So don't put the news on.
Yeah.
Please don't put the news on, even in the good days. Just get yourself into a mindset of growth, positivity, success. And then as the world comes at you, you're already feeling good. So you're going to be strong, and you're going to do well.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I hear that from, even from my other coaches that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that a lot of people struggle, at least for me, is don't pick up your cell phone in the
Yeah.
morning. Don't be scrolling through, Facebook, Instagram, or checking your emails. Just resist the urge to pick up your cell phone.
Exactly. Agreed.
That's awesome. Well, you definitely shared a lot of nuggets today in a short amount of time, so I definitely appreciate that. Is there any last words that you would like to share with the audience in regards to whether yourself, action coach, or like COVID?
Yeah, no, I just stay positive. There's so many good things out there and good things happening, and just remain positive, be the voice of positivity. I appreciate what yourself and all the micro business owners are doing out there to do things like this and build our communities back up. And together, that's what we'll do. And I'm here as a resource. They can always go to my website, webelieveingrowth.com, and there's a coach's calendar. Click on one of the free sessions. Anyone who just needs someone to give them a hug, whatever it is, a virtual hug, wants to run an idea by, I'm a resource. I want to get our community back to thriving.
Nice. So I'll tag you. I'm not sure if we're friends on Facebook, but I'll find you, tag you, and if you can list all the information where people can find you.
Yep, will do.
They can use you as a resource.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate the opportunity. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you. We'll talk soon.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.